Tyron, speaking of fighting, I teased it at the top of the show. There's a lot of talk about you facing off with a Diaz. Let's hear it.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here to, all I need is the paperwork sent. UFC 219, December 30th, needs a headliner. It's been offered to me. It's been offered to Nate Diaz. Unfortunately, one half is not accepted. So you guys, people listening and watching, you guys need to get the Twitter fingers and ask your man that said don't be scared. Why is he scared?
Yeah. And Nate kind of seems a little out of the blue, if I'm being honest, when we think of the division.
Our sport is out of the blue at this point. So, I mean, there's no real rules.
I'm a huge fan of the Diaz boys, but it seems a little surprising.
I'm a huge fan of the Diaz boys. I'm a huge fan of what they've done for our sport. I feel like, it's not about the rankings anymore. Sometimes the rankings are a little shaky. When you think about who's put in the most work, the most time, is he not deserving of the world title based upon what he did? Fighting Conor McGregor, even before, and they just fighting in these wars.
The welterweight division is a little bit mixed up right now. Tyron's fought three of the top contenders in that weight class, and the other guys are still so young. I understand you want to see the guy fight one of the guys that are ranked behind the guys that he's already beaten. But Nick and Nate Diaz, that's either one of those fights.
They're way bigger names.
To be clear, they will always get my money.
They will always fight hard. They're way bigger names than any other welterweight.
Absolutely.
I would prefer to see Nick, though, rather than Nate.
Yeah.
Hey, I would prefer either one.
Moving on, we can sit here and drink.
Us from across the globe, as he's currently in Sydney, Australia, our good friend and a man who has consistently been in the MMA headlines, Triple C himself, Colby Chaos Covington. What's going on, Colby? How is Australia treating you so far, man?
What's up, Jason? What's up, BJ Penn Radio? Thanks for always having me on and giving me the voice.
You know it, brother. So, how is Australia treating you so far, bro?
Oh, man, Australia's nice, man. A lot better than that dumb Brazil, that's for sure.
So you're obviously out there for fight week. Are you going to be booked up doing appearances and stuff, or are you going out there and really going to have an opportunity to experience the great down under?
Yeah, I got a lot of appearances. Everybody wants to see the UFC's most handsome-looking man. So, me and my boy Gamebred Masvidal, we got to go around, do some appearances, do some meet and greets, do a little questions and answers for the fans.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So do you think you're going to have an opportunity to really experience Australia at all, or is this just going to be strictly business for you?
This is probably going to be strictly business. There's a lot going on this week with the UFC, so, I'm here for business, help promote the brand, help get Tyron Woodley out of scared and hiding.
So let's jump right into it, man. News broke last night and today that Tyron's in negotiations to fight Nate Diaz at UFC 219. I'd imagine you have plenty to say about that.
Yeah, I think he's bluffing, man. I don't believe it. I won't believe it until it's signed, Tyron's not a money fighter. Why would Nate Diaz come back and fight Tyron Woodley? Tyron Woodley can't sell 100,000 pay-per-views. So what is Nate going to come back and fight Tyron Woodley when he can't sell 100,000 pay-per-views? Because at the end of the day, Nate made a bunch of money when he fought Conor. He made like $20 million. So he's not in a hurry to come back and fight. What's he going to come back and fight Tyron for $1 million and then he loses all his blood for the Conor fight? So I think Tyron's bluffing because he doesn't want to fight me. He's scared to fight me.
Now, a lot of people are saying that this is an instance of trying to save the UFC 219 card. What's your reaction to the potential matchup here? I mean, I know you're saying that Nate really doesn't have any reason to fight Tyron as far as money goes, but do you think possibly that the UFC offered him a significant amount of money to take a fight on short notice and save this card?
No, I don't believe that. Why would the UFC do Tyron Woodley a favor? The UFC hates Tyquil. His new name's Tyquil. It's not NyQuil. You could take NyQuil to go to sleep. This is Tyquil. Tyron's the most boring fighter. He's supposed to put the fighters to sleep, not the fans to sleep. So, with that being said, I don't think that he's been offering Nate Diaz. They're not going to do Tyron Woodley any favors. The guy's been in the most boring welterweight title fights of all time. And frankly, he doesn't deserve a money fight. So I don't believe it's true until I see the dotted line sign.
Now, I had asked you earlier this week if you were in talks to fight Tyron at UFC 219 and help the company save the show. You had mentioned that you were hopeful, but nothing was in the works yet. That being said, you must have been a little shocked to hear that Nate was the guy in negotiations. I mean, realistically, as far as the matchup goes, what do you think of them competing against each other stylistically, and the idea of Nate leapfrogging the entire division to get a crack at the title?
It's a joke, man. What's Nate Diaz's record at welterweight? He doesn't even have a 25% win ratio. I mean, he got his ass beat by Dunghoom Kim. You saw what I did to Dunghoom Kim. I completely destroyed him and outclassed him. So Nate's a small 55er. He doesn't belong at 170. You know, whatever. If he gets the fight, good for him, man. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be the #1 contender, and I'm still going to get my belt next. So Tyron can only run and hide for as long as he can, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I am the best, and I cannot be stopped right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I think a lot of people, they get the idea of a possible money fight saving the show, but at the same time, man, it's a real tough task for Nate to be able to beat a guy like Tyron. Probably undersized, might be able to push the action, but I mean, do you give him a chance in this fight? Who would you pick for it?
No, I don't really give him a chance because, you know, he hasn't shown any chances at 170. You know, he didn't beat anybody. You know, he got beat up by everybody. You know, Dunghoom Kim beat the fuck out of him. Roy McDonald beat the fuck out of him. He's a small 155, you know, and he's at the end of his career anyways. So, you know, it doesn't really make sense. I don't even know why he would go up. You know, they must be paying him at least a couple million, you know, $5 million or something. So, I don't know. Honestly, I really think Tyron's bluffing. I want to call Tyron out on his bluff because how do you know he's in negotiations? You know, has the UFC said that, or is that Tyron feeding the media lies? Because Tyron loves to feed the media lies.
So where does this leave you now? I mean, assuming that this fight is a possibility, I understand you're very skeptical right now, but do you sit and wait for the winner, or do you take another fight in the meantime if this fight does get made?
You know, if the fight does get made, you know, we wait and see. We evaluate after the fight. You know, if someone's going to get hurt, then you know, then I'm going to take a fight. Then I'm going to look for the Robbie Lawler versus Rafael Dos Anjos winner. But if no one gets hurt in the fight, then, you know, I'm willing to wait till spring or summertime to fight Tyron. You know, this is my division now. I run this division, you know. I got to show you a quote that I found of Tyron Woodley before he fought Robbie. And the quote was, "Oh, man, the UFC's a circus, man. It's bullshit. I'm the #1 contender. I'm going to wait out. If I have to sit out a year, I'll sit out a year to get my title shot, but I'm the next in line." And then after he fights Robbie, "Oh, this isn't sport. This is all about money, this and that. I'm just looking for money fights." It's just funny, man. I'm going to send you the quote afterwards. You'll really get where I'm coming from.
No, I do remember that. Talking about the contendership, he felt like he wasn't given his rightful shot at the title, and then you're correct. Once he did finally get that belt, he was looking for money fights. So strange how the tables turn, you know, once you finally get that strap. But with the possibility of Nate becoming the champion, I know you're not picking him at all for this one, but, you know, give us your thoughts on a potential fight with him, and is he a guy that you respect?
Yeah, I respect Nate Diaz. He's a great fighter. He's had a great career in the UFC. He's a gamer. He's tough as nails. But, I mean, as far as on the octagon, I don't respect him. I mean, the guy sucks, man. He's got a good gas tank. He's beaten a lot of guys just off gas, you know, just off wearing guys out, you know. But as far as a fighter, you know, he doesn't really bring much to the table. He's not a great striker. He's not a powerful guy. He's not. I mean, he's a pretty good grappler, like jiu-jitsu-wise, but wrestling nullifies that. But, you know, he doesn't belong at welterweight. You know, he's a great lightweight. That's what I'm trying to say. Is he's not a good welterweight. So, you know, I don't know. It's a joke. It's a joke if he gets the fight.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, the record speaks for itself. He's had a lot of trouble at 170, had success at 155, but even then, it's not fair at all to have him leapfrog the entire division to take this fight. That being said, when you were like hearing these rumors and these things going on, possibly behind closed doors, did you throw your name in the hat? I mean, did you contact Sean Shelby and say, "Give me a fight at UFC 219"? I mean, have you heard anything from the company about you possibly being featured on that card?
Yeah, I think they tossed around the idea of me being there, but, you know, Tyron started complaining, making excuses. "Oh, he hasn't earned it, you know. He's not worthy yet." And he's just making excuses, you know. Tyron Woodley does not want to fight me. He made up all this bullshit after I fight Maya. He's like, "Oh, Kobe has pillow hands. Oh, Kobe this." If I'm such an easy fight, then why aren't you taking that easy fight? Because I am the #1 contender. I beat the same resume that you beat. I beat Robbie Lawler. I beat Dunghoom Kim. I beat Damian Maya's ass, you know. So, you know, he's making up all these excuses, and we put our name in the hat to fight him, and he's like, "No, he doesn't deserve it. He needs to keep fighting. He needs to do this and that." So, you know, at the end of the day, if the UFC offers me the fight the week before 219, I will be ready, and I will show up at UFC 219, Jason.
I have no doubt, man. I have no doubt, and it certainly needs a big fight to save the card. It's taken quite the hit. So hopefully something like that does get made. When all these rumors were circulating, man, I contacted you immediately. I thought that you were going to be the guy. I mean, when this all started, did you have any doubt? I know you doubt that Tyron doesn't want the fight, but I mean, did you think that this was a good possibility for you to be on the card?
Yeah, I thought it was a great possibility. I'm next in line at welterweight. You know, I'm number 3 in the world. There's only 2 guys ahead of me, Robbie Lawler and Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson already fought twice, and so he's not getting another shot. Robbie Lawler got knocked out in under a minute or 2 minutes, so, you know, they're not going to redo that fight. It doesn't make sense, you know, and I've already knocked out Robbie enough in the gym, so I'm ahead of him, man. I'm the number 1 contender. I've beaten these guys that Tyron fought, and I beat these guys a lot worse than Tyron beat them. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm ready to fight Tyron on a week's notice, a day's notice, whenever he wants to go. But, you know, it's ducking season. He's going to be ducking me for a while. You know, he's fought me in the gym, and I've taken his soul in the gym. So he knows I'm a bad matchup, and he's going to try and duck me as long as he can.
Ducking season. Maybe it's duck hunt season for you then, huh?
That's right. It's duck hunt, man. It's hunting season, man.